Just telling a story about you.
Hi, Raymond.
Hey, buddy.
God, sorry I was late. I was reading about 40 fucking text messages from a stupid fantasy draft.
Oh, what kind of assholes play fantasy anyways?
It's fucking
Apparently only fucking crybabies.
Jesus Christ.
Apparently only people who take it way too seriously and have nothing to live for
For
other
a
than
$30 league?
losing in fantasy football every fucking year. Those
In
are
a
the people
$30 leagues. You guys sound like Mike Chamberlain. You can leave that in because the
Wow.
Chamberlains are cunts.
You're not talking to the instigator, Bill. You're talking to somebody else.
Wow.
Whenever I hear problems, Rich, with anything that you run, I just assume that you're just daggering people.
I mean, I'm constantly on the fucking defense. Constantly on the defense. My old Big Mac over here didn't come to my aid tonight. He actually started to pile on like the rest of these fucking lunatics.
What was it over? Waiver order?
No.
I changed all the rules and then I changed one more because everyone fucking bitched at me like constantly. I'm the commissioner of this league and all I get is bitching about everything.
Let me be a third party
Constantly.
right now, Bill. So, Rich changed the rule so like every return yard you get like 0.5 or something like that.
Love it. Love
Yeah.
it.
Well, Rich was going to lose 442
Oh,
to
here we go.
160 this week. So he changed the rules back, so now he's projected to win.
Anybody
No,
who
it should
thinks
be- it
anybody
should
who
be 1
thinks
yard, one point for every 10 return yards. Punts and
anybody
kicks.
who thinks that I care that much about losing in week 1 of a $30 fantasy football league that I came in last year and I put in hours of work for entertainment for the 11 other people during the week can fuck the fuck off.
Now, when he says
I'm on
That's
your
what I have to say
side.
about that. I
When he
don't
says
give a
hours,
shit
it
if I
wasn't
win or
hours
not.
of work. He didn't do it every week, Bill.
Hey, Team Ramrod.
And all I get is bitch, and the amount of like the actual seriousness that it gets to is fucking depressing. To be honest with you, I'm actually worried about the fucking people in this goddamn league on the internet that care that much. Like,
Oh, Jesus.
holy
It sounds
fuck,
like
how
someone
bad is
killed
your
Rich's firstborn. Jesus, with this rant right now.
God.
Did your firstborn die? Is
No,
that
it's
why-
also off the fucking back of a bad Celtics loss. Work sucked today. I'm dealing with contractors that can't handle their shit. It's been a bad fucking day. It's been a real bad fucking day. But I put a smile on, Bill. You didn't hear any of that until this fucking purple bitch came on, did you? No,
we had
we had a very nice
good
baseball
conversations.
conversation
Yes, we
about
did.
baseball, which is the worst thing that I could possibly talk about because you know how much it pisses me off. And I didn't even go off the deep end. But this purple little fucking cock eater walked on and started bitching again like everybody else in this fucking thing and set me off. So here we go. Welcome to the Simple Mind Sports Show, ladies and gentlemen. Friday headlines. Hope you enjoy the fucking show.
You work today?
Jesus, Rich. Jesus, Rich. Jesus. Someone.
Someone pooped in his Fruit Loops this morning, I think.
Salty Rich is not my favorite.
Do I scare you, Bill?
I'd
You're
go
a little bit afraid.
No, I'm never afraid of you, but
I'd go Sunday Scary's Bill is more scarier than
Yeah, he's
Angry
dead.
Angry Rich.
He's dead in the eyes. There's no emotion.
There's no soul when you look in your eyes.
There's
There's
nothing.
nothing.
It's just I could end your life and I'd feel nothing. There'd be no regret or guilt for the rest of my life. I'd forget about it.
that was
Half an hour
last
later.
Tuesday's headlines.
You don't say. You don't say.
When I'm cracking killer jokes and it just doesn't even make me laugh. You knew. All
Boys,
right.
I am coming into this a little bit salty because fucking A, we got a game 7 on the horizon because, oh my God.
Jesus,
you're
there's just so much blame to go around here too.
If you're a sports fan, if you're a basketball fan, what a game.
Great
if you're
game.
If you're
Awesome
a
to
Celtics
watch.
fan, just punch yourself in the dick 12 times over during watching that goddamn Celtics game. Obviously talking about game 6, 122-125 loss to the Toronto Raptors. Ah, man. Look, so first quarter dominating. Really? For most of that first half, they were dominating. They were taking it to them. They were getting wide open shots, hitting wide open shots. The Raptors were ice cold. Jaylen Brown came out hot. Jason Tatum struggled early. I mean, he was even missing free throws. Not so bad. He was struggling.
Yeah, it was 2 for 5 from the line early. 9. What was he? 2 for his first 7, too. 2 for first 9, I think.
Yeah.
Awful.
Just really not, what we're looking for. But it didn't matter. Like the Celtics were taking it to him. It looked like the Raptors had run out of gas, and the Celtics were going to take it to him until about 2 or 3 minutes left in the first half. Up 12, gave it all away, basically.
Yep.
Fucking gave it all away. Right at a halftime, predictably, if we should be doing this, but if you're not betting the other team in the third quarter of every Celtics game that ever exists, then you're doing something.
They've lost every one in this playoffs. Every single one
quarter.
they've lost.
Huh?
Fucking unbelievable. But even to that point, they still had the lead, where I think the game changed and turned into what it inevitably was that flagrant foul that they called on Marcus Smart. On
Yeah,
Fred
the Van Fleet 6-point. He had a 6-point play there. That's
it was a
6-point swing.
9-point
Nine
swing.
point swing.
It was
Sorry,
9 points in
yes.
a row. Fred
Yeah.
Van Fleet obviously wasn't hurt that bad,
he had-
NBA.
Who was it?
back-to-back threes.
I didn't hear
yeah.
you, Rich. Who was that again?
Max, I'm
Max
sorry.
Van Fleet,
Oh,
baby.
sorry.
Give me,
Quote-unquote
put some
max
respect
contract.
My
Fred
headphones
Van
went
Fleet.
out on that. My
Put
fault.
some
My fault.
respect to his name.
I mean, that rule came into play because Kawhi Leonard rolled his ankle in the playoffs and then didn't come back for
That's
a
the
year
only reason Golden
because of
State won that
bullshit
year.
or whatever. Stupid. It's the same thing as the Tom Brady, aka actual shit. I
Talk
fucked that
rule.
up.
Carson Palmer rule.
Carson Palmer rule where they
Got you,
hit him in
baby,
the
against
thank
the
you, Bill.
Steelers.
It's the Carson Palmer rule, not the Tom Brady rule, you Tom Brady haters, even though he's dead to us. This is
Fuck
the
Tom
same
Brady.
thing. The Kawhi Leonard rule where he rolled his – that's a basketball play. Ray, you and I have talked about this. That happens every fucking time. And in that particular play, Fred Van Fleet, Reggie Miller, that shit, and stuck his leg out. You know what? That was supposed to be outlawed in the NBA too. The nitpicking, this is going to be a theme with this Boston Celtics game. The nitpicking of the league and the officials is detrimental to the game and was a huge part of last night as we record this now, last night in game 6.
You're
But yeah,
saying the refs?
so hold on. So before we
Let's
get
not jump, Bill. Read the
No,
email.
no.
after that,
Sorry, I was writing. My bad.
to me, that was the swing. Because the Celtics still maintained the lead. They had I think it was a 4-point. I can look it up, but they had, I think, a 4-point lead before that, and then Fred Van Fleet 9 points in a row, and then it was a fucking battle from there. Let me just read you the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, and then we'll get to the blame game. 98-94, 2 minutes left in the game. Jaylen drives, misses. Tice cleans it up. 98-96. Smart strips Siakam in the lane, passes the Tice. 98 on that little Tice had closed him out, and they dumped it into him, tied the ball game. Van Fleet, brick. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Lowry took Brown out again in that play, got the foul. 130, Kemba Walker shorts the pull-up in the lane. Another brick from Van Fleet. So that's 2 possessions now. You've stopped the Raptors. Tatum, this is the infamous Tatum to Nick Nurse play. This is when that fucker happened. Siakam comes down on the drive, bricks a layup, should have made it, bricks it. That's 3 stops that you have with a tie ball game with less than 2 minutes left in the game to the last play of the game, essentially, for the Celtics. The Kemba drive, no call. They give the timeout. Raptors get the ball. And then they call the fucking foul on Tatum that I thought they were going to put him. I honest to God thought they were going to put OG at the line.
I thought, but they had a foul to give. They did mention that right before.
No, but I thought they were going to call it a shooting foul.
Shooting foul, yeah.
I thought so. I thought so
bad.
too. And then they were like, but then you show the replay. Brad would have fucking challenged that. You saw the replay. It was well before.
Would he though, Bill? Because he didn't
No.
challenge the Kemba call, and that's what he should have challenged.
Yeah, because the NBA just came out today, this afternoon, and just said they missed the call on Cameron driving in the hoop.
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can challenge a non-foul call, but he definitely could have challenged if they got a timeout or not, and if they didn't get a timeout, it was a jump ball. which it should have been a jump ball.
There was a challenge on that, I thought, anyways.
No,
though.
it wasn't.
Oh,
I thought, oh, no. Well, they replayed it. No, it wasn't a challenge. The refs replayed it anyway.
They replayed it to see if it was a timeout, and then clear as and this is where I want to get into the refs a little bit later, but that was one of the clear indications that this was like this was an NBA officiated fucking game, and it's too bad because
I hate blaming
really
the refs. I'm
swayed
not
the
going to do it, but
it's hard to, because what I just laid out to you is 3 opportunities for the Celtics to win that game, and your 2 best players failed at it all 3 times. So let's get to overtime.
Yep.
First play that stood out to me in overtime, Jason Tatum drives the lane, gets fouled, and then gets called a technical foul on him.
That's a basketball play, but you saw it with Wanamaker. They didn't call Wanamaker on that, which was – so that's what I don't understand, Rich.
So hold on before we get to the refs. That's not an insignificant play because they get a technical foul shot. They go up by 1. If anyone didn't know this, they went to fucking double overtime. Do you not think 1 point matters in a double overtime game? They gave the Raptors a shot on that because Jason Tatum got fouled and his arm went up and accidentally hit someone in the face. In overtime and double overtime, I got to say this was just a really fucking good game to watch. I don't know if there's a lot of blame to go around. I wrote down in the show notes everything that happened. You had big shots from the Raptors in overtime. Tatum had another real bad turnover with 1:20 left in overtime. Obviously Jalen, the 2 huge free throws to tie it up to go to double, no one's even talking about because they lost the game.
Well, when you shoot 11 for 30 for the night, 2 free throws are,
I'll get to that, Bill. I'll get to that. 2 free throws to send it into double overtime is bigger than 11 for 30. I think
I
give Jaylen Brown
agree,
some credit.
but you're overlooked by this poor shooting night is what.
They also said that the Raptors bench was singing like batter, like like talking shit.
They were talking shit after. He had a lot to fucking say after the game too. He was shitting on Nick Nurse. Dude, Nick Nurse is a cunt. If it wasn't for fucking Ray, he would be the whiniest cunt in the world.
Double overtime. This is the bit.
True.
I mean, they blow the 4-point lead. It was just back to back. The Raptors hit the shots and the Celtics did it. In my mind,
well, that step back with Lowry with 11 left to put it up by 4 was disgusting.
So you could see the Celtics had it rolling. They knew how to beat it. They had 2 alley-oops to Tice in the last couple minutes of the game. He went 112, 110, 112, 117 to 115 with a minute left. And then OG hit that 3-pointer. And to me, that's when things kind of turned.
He was the player of the game for them outside of Lowry, dude. They went small and played him at the 5, and the Celtics had no fucking answer. That was the reason they couldn't do it. And I don't know if you want to start the blame game now, but dude, Brad Stevens, you got to do something. Get out of that 1 box shit on Kemba. That's you 2 idiots ran that in fucking Raymond High School. That defense, right? And if you're one of the best coaches in the NBA. You got to fucking coach around that. You got to get Kemba open. You're 2 for 11 shooting, and the reason was because they boxed you out every time and box defense, dude. You got to start. You got to run pick and rolls. You got to do anything to get him open shots.
Bill, I have an opinion on that, but since you're rolling, let me get your top, call it 3 people to blame in this game. It's Stevens number 1?
Absolutely. I mean, I think you had defensive lapses in the 4th quarter. And both overtimes, you were getting up open shots. I understand Kyle Lowry made fucking 2 dagger threes from behind the arc, but you got to understand, Kemba Walker's your best pure scorer. We've all stated on this show. You have to do a better job of beating this fucking high school defense. You need to do something, switch, do anything to get him open, and they did a piss poor job. Kemba forced at least 9 of his 11 shots were forced, right? So, I mean, you got to get him open. If you're a better coach, you can coach around a high school fucking defense. Let's be real.
I'll say this. The box and 1, people are making way too big a deal out of. Here's why. They stopped playing it after the first half. They didn't play box and 1 after that. And in the first half, you were winning by 12 because Kemba Walker was avoiding the defense, getting people open shots, and people were hitting open shots. I'm not gonna take Brad Stevens off the list of people to blame because I think that there's mistakes that he made, but not getting Kemba Walker shots in the first half because they're in a box and 1 is not one of them. They beat the box and 1. They beat it. They were up by 12 in the first half, and then guess what? They stopped playing box and won.
Well,
That's why.
too.
The third quarter happened, yeah. But I'll tell you,
Well, the third quarter
happened.
happened, yeah. But look. You can't blame. I'm not going to blame Brad Stevens for not getting Kemba Walker. He had 3 shots in the first half because they boxed and won him. Jaylen Brown had 17 shots in the first half. He hit 8 of them. And people are making a big deal out of the 30 shot for Jaylen. He had 17 shots in the first half because they played box and one. Kemba Walker hit 8 of them. He was the reason they were winning. He was the best player in the game.
And then he disappeared.
No. This is where everyone's missing the point. You played 2 overtimes. You played 3 more quarters after the first half. So then he had another, what's the fucking math on that? 13 shots for 3 quarters? What are you upset with What is everyone upset with Jaylen Brown for? He's the reason you're in the fucking game.
I didn't say I was obsessed with.
Here's what you can get mad for
Brown.
with Brad Stevens. You don't challenge anything. You left the game with 2 timeouts in your pocket, and we're bitching about the refs because rightfully so. They made
horrendous calls, and then that fucking
no. Shut up, Bill. They were way too involved in that game on both ends of the floor. But every close call went to the Raptors, and that's when you have to use a challenge, especially at literally the last play of the game. Use your fucking challenge, and then you get into overtime and you don't use it. Like that's where I'll get on Brad Stevens, but I don't really have a problem with Brad Stevens. He played all of his starters from the middle of third quarter on, which is
they played
asked him to do
45 minutes on. Yeah,
he played his best players. He didn't let up. Kemba Walker was initiated in the game as well as Jason Tatum from the middle of the third quarter on. Kemba had a bad shooting night. Jason Tatum had a decent night. He had really bad turnovers that cost him his game. Jason Tatum's at the top of the list, maybe no surprise to you guys, but those 3 turnovers cost him the fucking game. I'm sorry.
6 turnovers in the second half, Rich. 6 turnovers.
3 turnovers, all 3 of them at the end, had a chance to take the lead in the game, and he coughed it up every fucking time. And people making a big deal out of that LeBron block, he coughed it up.
Yeah, that was on fuck yeah. He got stripped by who was that? Powell stripped him.
Sorry, Ray. Hold on, Ray. Let's hear from the totem pole.
I want to say my number 2 real quick. Can I
put any more wisdom on this? Go ahead, Bill.
Gordon Hayward. This is a game you needed Gordon Hayward with Kemba struggling. If Gordon Hayward's healthy, you're going on to the Eastern Conference Finals. This is a game you needed him. You need that other guy off You had a 3-headed monster with Kemba, Brown, and Tatum. You had that 4th guy in a pure scorer like Hayward is. This is a game. You're winning this game if Gordon Hayward's healthy. I don't care what any of you guys say, chemistry or not, you're winning this game if he's healthy. I put him on number 2 because he's got a ankle that's like a vagina. Bleeds every once a month. Okay? For a week.
Raymond?
Mitch, I'm asking you the kindness of my heart, will you please let me on the bus? Because I am on the Jason Tatum is not a superstar.
Ooh.
Because a superstar would be able to close out games and not turn over the ball and throw to a coach that's on the court. He was wearing gray. You were wearing green. Therefore, you should have known that he is not on your team. And
you owned up to it, though.
Yeah, but still, superstar closes out games, and he does not close out games. He does not have that it factor yet. But I am fully on Mitch's side here. Tatum is not a superstar. I don't even think he's a budding superstar after watching that performance last night.
He lacks the skill to do what he needs to do in that position.
He can't score in the paint. He can't score in the paint.
He doesn't have He does not have the ability to dribble around 2 people and get his shot, and he does not know how to find his spot on the court when the defense clamps down on him. Passing to Nick Nurse is one thing. Opting to pass to Daniel Tice in the corner, whether it was made or not, is a whole different story. You got to shoot that ball, Jason Tatum. It's 98-98.
There's a lot of overpassing
left in the game.
Go ahead.
Look, Bill, if you want to argue the Jason Tatum thing.
No, I'm not going to argue, but I'm just saying I think there was a lot of overpassing in that Celtics team. I think they passed up. They were trying to get the perfect shot when they were beating the zone in the 4th quarter in both overtimes, and they were overpassing it, and they were forcing up shots late in the shot clock. We saw it both from Jason Tatum, who I texted you early in that game and said he could be better, and you said, no, he's been good, and I was legit serious. He could have been better. His stats, he almost had a triple-double, but, dude, you had bad turnovers late, and, again, you're forcing too many shots late in the game. Brown was doing it. Kemba forced a few shots, and Tatum were all forcing. Dude, that step back shot he had, a fadeaway that he didn't even hit. He hit the bottom of the net on.
But Bill, that's his best shot. That's the problem.
Not that one though. Not that
that's
forced
all he's
one.
got. Look, here's the thing. But Bill, here's the thing. In that type of game,
I stand on my stand. He's a superstar.
Stand on your stand all you want. Honestly, Jason Tatum showed me something last night more than I've seen. This entire Celtics team showed me something more than I've seen. In years past, that Celtics team doesn't make it a double overtime. As soon as they blow the lead in the fourth quarter, the game's over. So they did show me something. They locked down defensively. The Raptors hit big shots.
Those Kyle Lowry threes.
The Celtics missed. The Celtics missed more than the Raptors made big shots.
Yep.
If that makes sense. And so if we're playing the blame game, Tatum's on my list, Brad Stevens is on my list, inexperience is at the top of my list, and I've been preaching this to you guys since we started the show. The Celtics do not know how to win.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody on that team that has ever won before, and they need to learn how to win in this playoffs. And if there's one glimmer of hope out of this game, this was not a deterrent in that realm of it, if that makes sense. Their fight and determination and what they did in this game was pushed me more towards, maybe they're kind of getting it. They were just this far off on the shit that they needed to do. Mainly Jason Tatum, who is the guy that needs to do it, and Kemba. Yeah. Kemba had a bad night. And
terrible game.
If you want to blame Brad Stevens for not getting him shots in the first half, don't blame it on box and one. Blame it on the fact that he was never able to get into rhythm by the end of the game. You're right. The discrepancy between Jaylen Brown having 30 shots and Kemba having 11 doesn't look good at the end of the day, but that's the flow of the game. But if Kemba Walker is going to be your fourth quarter guy and you know it's going to be a close game at the end, he has to get in rhythm. You got to play the Kobe. Like Kobe would take the first quarter and then he would pick his spots to find his fucking shot, right? Like, so this is what you have to do with superstars. The Celtics are getting there. They're not there yet. Last night proved it to me.
But Rich, I'm going to tell you right now too, another knock on Brad Stevens is, why is Kemba guarding Kyle Lowry in overtime? Why are you not getting switches to get Marcus Smart on Kyle Lowry? Let's go. He was the best player on the court for them all fucking night. He was making dagger after dagger in the fourth quarter in both overtimes.
Okay, so
you had Kemba Walker on it.
I'm going to tell you why. Because you need then, in order to do that, you need to get Kemba Walker completely off the court. Because the Raptors are too well coached and Kyle Lowry is too good of a player. You just recognize who the fuck who Kemba Walker is guarding.
Yeah, but you want your ball. You want the ball in either Powell's hands, even Siakam, who's had a terrible night, in fucking OG, whatever his name is. Like when Kyle Lowry.
You're not seeing it. Kyle Lowry has the ball. Marcus Smart is guarding him. Who's guarding Kemba? Who's Kemba guarding? Who's Powell? Powell, set the pick. Come set a good pick. They got to switch. They have to switch.
You can still get it back, right? I don't know basketball.
Oh, you can't.
That's why I'm asking. I don't fucking basketball.
Well, this is why I'm telling you. They switched off him a lot, and then Brad Stevens went to, okay, if they're going to switch, fuck it. Let's just put Kemba on him. Kemba's a good defender. It's not that he didn't play that last shot well. He's just not big. He's just not tall enough, not strong enough. Marcus Smart defends it better, sure, but he didn't play it badly. So if I'm Brad Stevens, I'm going, okay, so if they're gonna run this pick and roll me all day long and Marcus Smart is gonna get wasted on Powell, then I might as well put him on a Siakam or somebody else that he can go actually guard instead of getting pick and roll out of this nice matchup that I have. Kemba, go do your best on Lowry or else you're gonna get pick and rolled out of it, if that makes sense. Or you have to bring in Shemi Ojeleye or Brad Wanamaker, or who are you trusting besides Kemba Walker, even on defense? I mean, Kemba Walker played great defense.
I get it. You can't take him up. I just felt like you got to find a way to get Smart back on.
That is where Gordon Hayward would make.
I told you, man. If he's fucking healthy, we're on our way.
The length is a difference maker there. And you could sit Kemba in that situation and have Gordon Hayward and have a better defensive alignment out there.
Hayward's an underrated defender too, and don't forget noontime today. He's off quarantine, so let's go.
He's not playing tonight.
No shit, he's not playing tonight, but he's off quarantine at noon.
Cool. His wife's gonna go into labor soon.
He's not
all right, but you could go there and back real fast, and you only got to fucking pass what?
He's not going back.
I know you've never been around for any of your child's births. It doesn't happen just like that overnight, Bill.
Ray, he's not going back. He's staying. He stinks.
But no, real quick too. There's like Celtics don't know how to close. That's what it is. You've seen in multiple playoffs now under Brad Stevens. They do not know how to close, and that was a game you needed to win. And none of our star players stepped up. I don't know if it's on Stevens, but dude, you're talking 9 of 21 for JT, 2 of 11 for fucking Kemba, and then 11 for 30 for Brown. None of our big guys were shooting the ball well at all, and then you're forcing shots late, dude. Someone on this team needs a closer gene because they need to win this series, and then I'll think more confident in them if they can win Game 7 that they know how to close. Because right now, Brad Stevens has to win this game to be 500, to be over 500 in the playoffs. Think about that. With the teams that he's had and the star talent he's had, you're 33 and 33 right now in playoff games.
Yeah, it's certainly rough. I don't know what to say. Yeah, in summary to that, to me, Tatum is still tops that list because as bad of a night Kemba had, at least he got shots up. He didn't turn the ball over.
No, he's definitely he's my top 3 as well. As much as I love him, terrible. 6 turnovers in the second half, atrocious.
Beyond that, let's get to the refs. So I had I think 2 or 3 that were really, really game changers. So the first one I had mentioned, the flagrant foul on Marcus Smart.
Yep.
And the Fred VanVleet 3. That rule just in general from the NBA is bullshit.
Stupid.
I understand the idea of it, but to the letter of the law, they have to call it, and because of that, it's atrocious. It's atrocious. It's an absolute.
It's like the illegal contact penalty on in football. It's, you know what I mean? They made it an emphasis a couple years ago, and they fucking call everything, right? So that's what this is. That's what you're seeing now in the NBA. Yeah.
No, it's bad. Nick Nurse on the court doing his best Mike Tomlin.
Should have been a technical.
Should have been a technical.
Should have been a technical. You missed it.
This is the you can't blame the refs. It's you can't blame the refs. The Celtics had their chances. Yeah, that's true. But every call that was close or should have been called it all went Raptors' way. All of it. There's not an example of the other way. And Nick Nurse literally on the court, a foot away from a Celtics player. You can't. What the fuck are you doing? You can't.
Yeah, I don't like that. Where's the coaching box?
By the way.
Oh, he is
an asshole.
Do you know he sells his own merch? He has his own website. And he sells his own merch like a fucking little tool bag.
Absolute fucking tool bag. Obviously, the no call on the final play for Kemba. Look, there's been a lot made of this in the body. I'm not talking about the body contact. He got hit on the arm. You saw the ball going to the head and then stop. I get you go in the lane. You get hit body to body, no problem. OG hit his forearm and stopped the shot from going forward. I don't care if it's the last play of the game. I don't care if it's the fourth quarter in the playoffs. You have to call that.
And they admitted it. They admitted it too after the game. They should have called it. They just admitted it too. I'll take body contact all day. I love that no call with the body contact, but when you're clearly smashing his arm and it's going out of bounds, you got to call that. And when you fuck up and admit later on that you should have called that, that's Celtics game. That's it.
That's it.
It's a game. I mean, we're in the Eastern Conference Final because of
and
that.
What sealed that?
I don't blame the refs.
What sealed that for me? I do blame the refs on that one. What sealed it for me that there was an agenda there is the timeout they gave the Raptors after.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, if you have an agenda, is giving them a timeout in the ball going to give them that much of it? Just give it a jump ball, go to overtime. If you're the refs, like, how do you give the Raptors a timeout in that play? How do you give them a timeout? That is
actually one ref called jump ball, and the other one,
the closest called jump ball, who could see the ball, called jump ball.
You know why?
Unbelievable.
You want to hear an agenda? Tony Brothers is the head ref.
They're like
Celtics play 3-14 in playoff
3-14.
games.
Yeah.
Celtics were 3-14 in playoff games. So you don't want to put it out there. I don't want to blame refs for any game. I'm not one of those guys, but I mean that's telling, because I've always said the NBA is the only sport of the 4 major sports that is the outcome is directly attributed to a third party, right? Because the NBA can make sure every the team they want to win can make sure they win because every foul is directly related to points.
Well, they can push it to that, Bill, but I would say, like I said, that
Doesn't
the Celtics
matter.
had,
The third
Shut
party can
up!
directly
the
outcome.
Celtics had their chances last night, and they didn't complete it. And the refs were they had an influence in the game, and it was not for the Celtics. It was clearly for the Raptors. Last couple I had on that was the tech on Tatum, which we mentioned in overtime. Just fucking stupid, atrocious. By the letter of the law, might have been a foul. And then the one that really turned it around for that crushed their momentum. Tatum had that air ball. Tice got the rebound. They called a foul, and then they reversed it. Look, he got hit on the arm the first time, and then they got ball on the second time. You called a foul on the floor. How do you reverse the call? So those examples, that's not like close calls. Okay, maybe you went to replay on all of those. You looked at them, and the Marcus Smart one, that's letter of the law. Fine, dumb rule by the NBA. The refs got to call it. Everything else was either a misdemeanor or they intentionally went for the Raptors.
You did get lucky though, Rich.
Hold on, I wanted to hear Ray's opinion just on the referee and how they influenced the game.
I didn't know I was watching WWE last night because that was a for sure fix was in. You got that from the upstairs that we all said this, that the Raptors and Celtics were going to go 7 games because that's the best for the NBA. And you saw it point blank right there last night. They didn't even try hiding it. The refs were just making bullshit call after bullshit call. Kemba Walker got fouled twice driving to the hole. And you saw in the replay, even Sean Grady, I was listening to the radio on the way back from the golf last night, third quarter, they're saying Sean Grady and Cedric Maxwell is saying it sucks here seeing the refs doing this right now because they're making this a second team that they're playing against. And even Mark Jackson said it last night that the refs are having an outcome on this game. So when commentators are saying shit, that's bad. That's just a bad look for the NBA right there.
And
like
Mark
I said,
Jackson
dude,
was
3
doing
and 14.
Mark Jackson
dude.
was doing his best to like stand up for the referees, sounding like, and that until it got basically, I think the Nick Nurse play, he was like you can't like that, you can't do that.
Yeah,
these referees are being an influence on this game, and you hate to see that in this type of game. And that he said it outright at the end of when they called that foul on Tatum after not calling on Kemba on the last play of the game. He's like, I would hate to see the game end like this if you give the Raptors a chance to win this game because of that.
And you
foul.
did. You fucking did.
Of course they did. That shot almost went in by Siakam.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. Really, really, it makes you not like the NBA.
This is the reason I don't like the NBA, guys. That's the exact reason. Because, dude, like I said, you can call a foul on every single play. I get it in the NFL. You can call a fucking penalty on every single play. But, dude, penalties in the NFL don't directly fix the outcome of a game where the fucking NBA does. Dude, you've seen betting scandals. You've seen it in college basketball. You've seen it in the NBA with referees doing it. You've seen fucking Boston College back in the 80s shaving points in basketball. It's easy to do. And then betting on the refs when you're playing against the refs. Dude, Tony Brothers 3-14 Celtics playoff record is huge, dude. That cannot be ignored.
It's pretty telling.
It's pretty telling. It's pretty telling, especially when you need it to go 7. Your ratings are down 35% from last year.
Primetime game on Friday night.
Exactly, Rich. And exactly. And then you got the fucking Clippers Nuggets 3-1. That series is over. You need the Eastern Conference to go 7 now.
That being said, Bill, sorry to interrupt you, but that being said,
I'm done.
The Celtics had their chance. They had 3 chances at the end of regulation. They had a 4-point lead in double overtime. They had a lead in overtime. Their perimeter defense sucked in the overtimes. Granted, those starters played the entire time, but so did the Raptors. But the Celtics, I go back to that 2-minute stretch in regulation. If Jason Tatum was the guy that everyone thinks he is, he would have ended that game. If Kemba Walker had a good night, he would have ended that game. And if the refs didn't have an agenda, the Celtics would have walked away with that game.
I'm teetering on the cliff for my
7?
Tatum.
Who gets 7?
Raptors.
I know we got Bill. Bill's got Raptors in 7. Ray, who do you got?
Celtics.
Okay, I'm gonna be absent. Look. I'm a fan right now, and I believe in the karma, and I'm not saying anything. I don't know because I honestly don't know.
I say Raptors because I picked Raptors in 7 before the series started.
I know
I'm sticking by my take.
You have to be,
and
and Totem Pole is unapologetically a homer. and I am a superstitious guy, and I don't want to fuck over the Celtics and have everyone mad at me. So
Rich,
I don't
watching this
know.
game-
I honestly don't know who's going to win. I don't know. I don't know. I
Watching
kind
this
of lean
game last
Raptors,
night-
honestly, but I don't know.
Watching this game last night, you know, we got the high. We're going to win this game, and the worst thing happened. This is my worst fear. You blew a game that you should have won, and now you're playing a team that knows how to close and has one big series.
Worst case situation. Best
Yeah.
case situation though is if you win, and that amount of momentum and motivation and
It's there. The path to the finals is there with Miami too.
the confidence that if you can win a game 7 against this team, the confidence going Miami will be sky high. And but I'm not saying anything. I don't know who's going to win. I'm going to bitch out on this. Sorry. So we've been mostly Celtics, rightfully so here, but the NFL does kick off last night as we're recording. It's actually playing right now. I believe that's a touchdown Chiefs if it doesn't come back.
Travis Kelce, I hope.
I don't know. The refs are getting involved, of course. Couple quick things on the NFL, and then I want to get your Patriots thoughts. We only have a couple minutes here, so be quick, Bill. Let me go to Ray first, though. So Thursday Night Football, KC Houston. KC's going to have, I think it's 20-something thousand fans, or maybe 16,000 or something like that, some low number. One of two places they're going to have fans. The other one's Jacksonville, who I don't know if they can get.
Jacksonville, no one, never. They don't even get a normal non-COVID.
They might get like Atlanta fans just going down there to watch football. Are you concerned, like as a viewer, just with the lack of buzz watching the game, or because there's a lack of fans, just from a product standpoint? Obviously we've seen what the other 3 sports have done. The NFL is a whole nother beast. What's your thought on that? Are you concerned that it's not going to bring the same amount of energy that we're used to?
Nope, because I'm excited. You're excited. Bill's excited. People at work today, that's what we're talking about, opening day. Everyone's excited. I mean, if you're not a true fan and if you're against the protests and all that stuff, then you're not going to watch. Who cares? Like, this is the NFL. This is the best sport in America. I'm excited. I think everyone's excited for this. They're the last of the big 4 to go. So they see what the MLB's done, NBA, NHL. So they have like a blueprint to go by, like what's not good and what's good. So obviously anything's better than what the MLB is putting out right now. So I think NFL will be just fine. And they're the biggest of the 4, so they can do whatever they want.
5, right? MLS had their cup.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know we're talking soccer.
What's the MLS? Sorry, I don't know. I don't know sports.
That's okay. Bill, what are your expectations or concerns with watching empty stadium football?
I'm a little weirded out by the pumped-in crowd noise. I think that's going to be weird as fuck, especially for the players. I think if you shouldn't have fans in the stadium if every team can't have fans in the stadium. I don't think it's a advantage, but at the same time, you got home teams with 16 to 20,000 fans in their stadium. You have the rest of the 30 teams have no fans in the stadium.
Not to interrupt you, but I want your opinion on this. Do you think that was a coordinated effort with the NFL and the owners to go, who wants to take this on and see if we can do it? And then in a few weeks, we'll see more teams bringing in fans. Because I think that's a possibility. I think it's a plan.
You know what? I didn't think of it like that, but I'm on board with that. I could see that, but I could understand getting KC aboard because they're raising the banner right now, or they did, but Jacksonville, no, they can't even fucking get that many fans pre-COVID, let alone post-COVID. Come on, dude.
It might be the reason. Here in 10 seconds or less, Ray, what's the one thing you're looking for out of the Patriots game versus the Dolphins?
The interior.
We lost you. Sorry, bud. Bill, 10 seconds or less. What are you looking for, Patriots, Dolphins?
Cam Newton, when you see him run the fucking the offense, it's a question mark. We need to see what kind of offense we're seeing. Your running game's a little banged up. Sony Michel banged up. Parkerhead always banged up. So let's see what we got for Cam Newton. He's a question mark all year.
Interior defense.
I want to see
interior defense. Sorry,
I'm with you, Ray. I want to see defense. I want to see it fast. I want to see it strong. I want to see it moving. It's going to be the key to your team this year. Defense has to be strong. I expect offense to struggle for weeks, and I better not fucking see Brian Hoyer. That's all I can say about that. This has been the Simple Mind Sports Show. Friday headlines 9,
11.
9/11.
Jesus Christ! I'm sorry.
Nice job, Rich.
Never forget. Bye. I cheered up nicely. So I really didn't want any there. Must have been Bill just fucking nonstop chirping that really.
Was that
Holy-
bad? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm fucked up. I'm sorry.
No, you don't say.
I got the old side text from Totem Pole. Make Bill stop fucking interrupting.
I'm sorry. Ray's stupid ass couldn't fucking talk.
I saw
Dude,
Ray.
you would shut the fuck up.
I saw
on a roll with basketball. Suck my dick.
I saw Ray just like start dozing off into like the corner. It's like I'm never gonna get in this fucking thing.
Oh, I Rich would say something.
Skydive naked from a narrow plane.